Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Recruiting Podcast. I'm Alex Rojas, your talent advisor and host. And today's episode, quite simply, are you a digital recruiter? In this episode, I'm going to give you 2 tools that will boost your recruiting productivity and your organization. You see, what would happen if I gave you a rocket ship to put on your recruiting backpack and it blasted you into 2025? You see, I can remember a time when I used to use the dreaded notebook, the notebook where you wrote everything in and you scribbled notes and you try to keep up with it and you try to date it. And I remember one time being on a call and a colleague, a friend of mine, heard me just like going through the pages. And he said quite simply to me, "Are you still using a notebook? It's time to catch up with the times." And he introduced me into the world of digital notebooks. And to me, that was a game changer. It was a game changer almost to the place where AirPods kind of transformed my life, right? Once I went to AirPods and I was hands-free as a recruiter, wow, that changed me quite significantly. But digital notebooks was introduced to me almost nearly 10 years ago, and it has literally transformed the way that I operate my business as a professional and even in my personal life. So stick around for the closing commentary, and I'm going to show you how this has transformed me as a professional, as a recruiter, and I want to give you next steps on that you need to take in order to embrace this digital world that we live in. I'm ready, I'm pumped, I'm excited. Let's discuss. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig into this. I'm going to go ahead and really debate what a paper notebook looks like from a con perspective and what a digital notebook would say from a pro perspective. And I think the thing to capture behind the digital notebook is that it is a cloud-based tool that you can access across multiple platforms. And so that's the first con here. And a paper notebook, it's really, you can carry along multiple notebooks. I had years and years of notebooks. I remember flipping through pages, looking around, trying to find where did I put that note in? And so it's something tangible that you have to carry around. The pro side of digital notebooks is that you can access it anytime and anywhere. And so for me, recruiting is a lifestyle. It goes wherever you go. And that's the brilliant part. As long as you have a smartphone, then your digital notebook can go with you as well. Another area that we want to look at as a con is that, writing is not efficient anymore. I mean, we're barely writing as it is. We're transcribing even from voice texting these days. So you can't write fast enough anymore, especially as the information keeps coming at us. And so the pro side of this from a digital notebook standpoint is that it helps you stay very organized. It gives you the tabs, it gives you the tags. It's great for meetings. It's great for screening candidates. It's wonderful for one-on-one conversations and brainstorming. So you can enter all that information on a digital basis. Another area that we want to look at from a con perspective is that there are really no digital impressions whenever you're looking at the notebook, the paper notebook. An example of this is I do tons of demos every year, hundreds of demos and products that I'm looking at. And so there's no way that I can transfer that information on a paper notebook versus a digital notebook. So working with vendors, working with services, looking at briefings that you want to go ahead and capture and take a screenshot of that image of a PowerPoint and putting it into your digital notebook is absolutely amazing because the paper notebook is all done by memory. And so I think that's the biggest thing is from a digital notebook, you can not only capture the images, but you can capture URLs. You can include voice texting in there as well. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I think you should really apply digital notebooks from a pro perspective. And then finally, another con when it comes to paper notebooks is that there's really no historical context. It's lost data. It's hard to find. You don't know where you wrote it down. I mean, that is dreadful. And I've tossed away a lot of data, a lot of information over the years. The pro side of it from a digital notebook is that everything is searchable. It's keyword based. You can share it with others as well. And I think that's so important that I have years and years and years of information and data that's all searchable that I can go back and look at within my digital notebook. Okay, so the second tool that will really transform the way that you do business, especially from an organization standpoint, has to do really with project management apps versus spreadsheets or still pieces of paper, whatever that might be. And so here's the issue. When we look at project management tools, as a recruiter, we are doing project management. We have so many balls in the air. The full life cycle process is so intensive that it has become very difficult and very challenging with all the tools and all the demands that we have as recruiters to be able to deliver, to remember on all these things. And this is where the project management app tools has really changed the way professionals and especially PMs tackle business. And so it's a very valuable tool that should be incorporated more as a recruiter. So I'm going to give you the first con when we're thinking about a list, coming up a list, a to-do list. I mean, people use sticky notes, right? You use the notepad paper. What do I got to do today? And you write it down and you write the sticky notes, or you use a whiteboard. And I'm okay with even a whiteboard if you want to drill down on specific goals that you want to accomplish for the day, if it's just like a few. But I mean, I've heard even people say, recruiters say, you know what, I like my paper. There's something that's really gratifying about crossing off what you did on your to-do list. And so what I'm going to say, the pro side of this, when you use a project management app tool and you digitize this, you can digitize your lists. You can put boards on there, tiles. You can make lists that are easily changeable and movable and digital, and it's archives. It archives your list so you can go back and research that. Another con when it comes to spreadsheets is, or whatever you want to kind of look at, or if you're using even a CRM or databases, is that a lot of times it's not customizable to your workspace. So yeah, I might be using a CRM, or I might be using another different sort of job search tool, but none of that is really customizable to my workspace. And that's where these project management app tools come in handy, because it allows you digital workflows. It also gives you the ability to kind of customize your focus area. So maybe I need to find out, how many candidates am I talking to? How many offers do I got to execute today? How many hiring managers do I have to schedule meetings with? What are my miscellaneous projects? These workflows allow you to move freely within that workspace. Another con when you're talking about lists, paper, spreadsheets, whatever you might be doing, is it's hard to really put due dates on there. There's no automation. There's nothing that really gives you the ability to focus and remember when you have to follow up on action items. That's why this is a PM tool. As a pro, within these digital PM tools, you're able to set priorities, you're able to set reminders, you can put automation workflows in there as well. And so that, I think, is highly important when you're thinking about this. And then finally, the area here when we're looking at paper, spreadsheets, databases, whatever you're thinking about from a project management support standpoint, sharing milestones with others, to be able to provide updates and progress and give status updates. It's very difficult when it's on a piece of paper, and so in a digitized world and project management, you have the ability to use collaboration, the ability to have others, invite others within your team to edit, to take a look at it. You can share screen, you can move things around. That is going to become much, much more efficient. So when you're looking at how we digitize the modern recruiter today, it all starts with your project management abilities, and making sure that you leverage a project management app tool is essential to getting to that place. Okay, it's time for closing commentary mindset time, and this is all about becoming a digital recruiter. And so for nearly 3 decades, I have seen technology transform and change, and that goes along with us being Gen Xers. We have had to navigate through technology for decades. We've gone from faxing resumes to an AI-powered digital resume, and I've truly embraced and adapted and learned and applied and taught others how to go ahead and really just embrace this technology. And it's a passion that I have, and I've led teams and I've mentored others all along the way. And one of the first things that I do whenever I work with anybody on my team, as I say, the first thing you got to do is you got to go all in on digital. And I really leverage digital notebooks, specifically notebooks, and even actually in my other things as far as project management tools in my personal life. So whether it's taking notes, journals, meetings, appointments that I have in my personal life, I love going to church and writing down my church notes for that Sunday and being able to map that out and have something that I can go reference to. Those are valuable tools that I have right at my fingertips. For some people, it takes a level of convincing convincing to let go of their notebook. And there's some people that are not going to do that. And for others, once they learn and they adapt, it's all about consistently applying it to your day-to-day life so you can wean yourself off of this addictive nature that you have with your paper notebooks and to-do lists and things like that. So I can't say enough about this tool other than that it is a top 1% performance tool if you really are able to hone in on it. So my recommendation for you is to go ahead and invest 2 to 3 hours looking at some of these tools that are out there. You can go on YouTube and go ahead. And I love some of the project management tools that I like. My favorite is ClickUp, but there's Asana. There's a few other that are out there as well. Take a look at those, navigate through those project management tools. As far as the digital notebook, I prefer OneNote. That's something that I've just carried along with me, but there are a lot of good ones that are out there now as well that you can actually thumb through. And the main thing is it'll help you get organized. I also offer a 10 Foundations of Recruiting online course that you can take at your pace. So that's something that I've been offering all this year. If you're interested, it's 30 years of professional recruiting experience bundled into 10 hours. If you're interested, go ahead and get some information on that. I hope this episode was informative. Please remember to like, to subscribe, and to comment and to share. It continues to really grow this channel, and I'm really excited about what 2025 has to offer. And until next time, remember, it's all about the mindset.